Monies. Monies. Well, in all seriousness, we're actually hoping to upgrade our studio equipment, but as you probably know, we are rather poor, unfortunately. But if you'd like to help us bring you higher quality programming, we've set up a donation project on fundanything.com. So please check out fundanything.com/en/campaigns/hoping-to-upgrade-podcast-equipment. A bit of a mouthful, I know. And the link is also on our blog at wearenotheretoPleaseYou.blogspot.fi. Thanks.
Welcome to We Are Not Here to Please You, episode 27?
8.
I'm
20,
totally off.
yeah.
The show that brings you fact-like information.
Indeed. Should we get our show info out of the way?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright. You can find us on beardsandbullshit.com/WANHTPY and on wearenotheretoPleaseYou.blogspot.fi.
Our content is also available at Stitcher, iTunes, and YouTube.
You can contact us on Facebook under our full name and also on wearenotheretoPleaseYou.gmail.com.
And of course, you can reach us on Twitter under @WANHTPY. If you like to participate, we announce our recording time on Twitter, and you can reach us on Skype under WANHTPY.
Okay.
I think that's that.
Yeah.
I think, should we go right away to our special guest today?
Yes, we should.
With us is Jack Heikle? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Tell us that, Jack.
It's Heikle. How you guys doing today, man?
We are doing just fine. And for the people that don't know that name, Jack Heikle runs the Beards and Bullshit podcast. What somehow took us in, we are still not sure why. But I bet he's gonna tell us.
Oh yeah, we took you guys in because we wanted an overseas show that could potentially cross genres over here. And we believe in sharing the wealth.
That's absolutely a great concept, and that I've noticed a lot that is pretty common in the podcaster world, that actually people like to share their experiences, like to help smaller podcasts out, and I think it's a really nice, sweet community, as I learned.
Yeah, you get some that are greedy and whatnot, but overall, like the Beards and Bullshit home is, it's open to a select group that I've put trust and faith into, that are going to continuously put out quality content.
Okay, then you have the wrong podcast with us.
You guys.
No, but that's definitely great, and I mean you have a vast variety of different shows, as I also saw on your page, and I was first intimidated just looking at the guest list, what you're usually having on your show, and I was kind of like, oh my god, how are we supposed to call him? Who are we to do that?
Oh, no, man. You treat everybody the same, no matter who your guests are.
Yeah, but you're basically our first interview. I was basically almost throwing up a little in my mouth before we started dial.
Not me. I just always have had the, let's just say, I've always looked at people the same no matter who they are.
Yeah, we all have to take a dump. I mean, we're all the same in the end. I think you can pretty quickly seed out who's an asshole, and otherwise you're gonna treat everybody the same. Unless they're asshole, then well.
Oh yeah, we've had some assholes on the show before. We've had some episodes not air because people were being a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, and people like that you don't want to give.
Being like starstruck and stuff. I would have to say, like, if we had somebody like Pekka Rinne, NHL hockey player, UC Okinen, guys like that, I would probably be more starstruck.
Yeah, I assume. But that's them personal heroes, so absolutely. But
and our family is my family is native Finlanders, so my grandfather was the first to come to the U.S.
Oh,
okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Finnish flag hanging up in the house. I root for Team Finland when the Olympics are on.
That's pretty
lovely.
damn cool.
Yeah. Who'd have guessed?
I mean, the world is small. You can always notice that there's little things like that. Somehow, everybody is somehow in some weird ways connected. It sometimes screws with your mind. I can't English again, apparently.
Well, I mean, we all came from somewhere, so we've all got to be related somehow.
Yeah, especially like if you look from what some people believe, that means we are pretty much a group of incest kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially in the South, where it still goes on.
Yeah, I mean, she broke up with me, but she told me we still can be cousins.
I mean, so what do you guys, what kind of guests do you guys usually have on?
We actually so far had only 2 call-ins, and that was actually only listeners from us. We actually not yet had, in that sense, guests, but we are kind of planning on kind of trying to reach out, but it's still kind of hard to get any kind of guest because we are still having a small profile. We are trying and working on improving it, but I think once we get maybe a few, then the ball is going to roll from itself.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, with where you guys are located, to talk to junior hockey players, musicians, I mean, because there's a huge sect of the U.S. that loves Scandinavian death metal.
Yeah, I mean, that's what basically Finland is known for, metal. So we actually gonna have soon maybe somebody on, but that's not yet everything locked down. So we're gonna announce that when everything is planned out there. But we definitely are gonna try to get more people on because it's just a nicer dynamic and most importantly, less preparation work for us that we have to prepare topics.
Because we're kind of lazy.
Come on, guess.
So what were the topics we're going to cover?
Today we have wanted also later to talk about the whole Donald Sterling thing as example, because that's relatively fresh.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say I'm totally, completely oblivious to this whole thing. Or well, I've seen a couple of pictures on Reddit or whatever, but they don't really tell me anything without the context. And I've been too lazy to look it up.
Well, I heard a lot of it because I'm listening to a bunch of podcasts, and well, you can't listen to any kind of podcast and not somewhat stumble over that. At least that one that cover daily.
It's nothing big in the world news spectrum as much as it is with United States entertainment news. When the Los Angeles Clippers owner decides he wants to say some things privately, and they're recorded, and then they're released, and then the NBA decides to ban him and fine him. But at the same time, the biggest problem with the situation is not whether he said anything racist or not. It's the fact that, a lot of Americans are pretty much against the ability of somebody recording you privately.
Yeah, I think that was one big of the controversy, because I heard kind of different things. Some people said it was an agreement that he's apparently getting old and gets his phone calls recorded so that he can listen back to it. Other people say like, no, it was an illegal taping.
Yeah.
And like, let's be honest, like you said, it's more a United States entertainment news thing, so it's kind of hard actually like to find the right information source for that thing when you're not actually in the States.
Yeah, anytime something quote-unquote racist happens in our news, our media jumps on it with so much sensationalism, like it's a brand new topic when it's just something that's been going on for a really long time. You know, I don't support it, but at the same time, I don't think it's really newsworthy.
Yeah, it's a very easy target. You know, something to.
Yeah, I would more be concerned with people getting polio here now, which we vaccinate for.
Yeah, because of the anti-vaccination.
But now we have all these anti-vaccination people that just they're like not getting vaccinations, and they're starting to bring back diseases because they refuse to get vaccinated.
Yeah, there was this one weird campaign was apparently somehow, well, not correct apparently, and was just a media thing and just make people nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely that is not newsworthy with the Donald Sterling thing in that sense. It's only like, well, it's easy to feed people that information and just so easy to sensationalize these topics. I mean, the only amusing thing about that is that he doesn't want that she brings and twitters pictures with black people, and she clearly is African American Latina mix.
Whatever somebody wants to classify her as,
Yeah.
Me personally, I just classify her as a human being, but a lot of people have to put a label on something.
Yeah, because it makes it apparently so much easier for everybody. Just dumb it down to a label.
So, which one of you guys is the German?
That's the guy that's talking most of the time.
Yeah, because the person you barely hear is the shy Finn in the background.
Of course, I mean that is what they're known for.
Yes.
That
being shy and eating dried fish.
I hate fish though, in all shapes and forms.
You're not a true Finn.
I must not be. At least
we have two huge communities of Finnish people in the United States. One is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which does a lot of the traditions, a lot of the foods, and that's where a lot of people go to if they want to experience their homeland, but cannot afford to go across the globe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rather pricey to try that, so I think it's nice that they try to at least recreate it to parts there.
Yeah. Oh, we actually touched up on the wife carrying contest that they had there.
Ah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because friends over at the No BS podcast kind of picked up that topic and asked us then about it if it's actually really popular, and apparently it's more popular in the States as it actually is in here, even when it's originated.
It's like anything. Like in the U.S., we celebrate, St. Patrick's Day, and we party like crazy. We celebrate Cinco de Mayo. We party like crazy. We celebrate Oktoberfest. We party like crazy. We just take every other nation's holidays and act like they're ours and celebrate really hard.
And why not? I mean, it's any good excuse for having a nice drink. Why the fuck not?
Exactly. But the problem is we have these holidays like once a week, once a month, We pretty much have a drinking holiday at least twice a month.
Yeah, we kind of noticed that because we always kind of look like what maybe holidays or weird like happy glue package day or something like that is right now when we're gonna publish our episode, and once in a while if there's a funny one we touch up on it. So we kind of noticed that there's a lot of this kind of little holidays, what you know from the name, kind of keeps popping up in the States.
Oh yeah.
By the way, what?
Now, I gotta ask, since you're German,
Yeah.
Do people still like are named Adolf anymore, or are people afraid to be named Adolf?
I think this name pretty much died out as well, like the mustache style. I mean, one guy fucked it up for everybody, basically. I can't think of any
because
scenario.
it's a pretty solid name to have. It's just like it's frowned on here.
Yeah, I haven't heard it anymore. But is it really so extremely frowned up? I mean, I could get it like in Germany that people don't want to have it as a name because, well, history. But in the States, I don't see a reason why.
It's because we're a land of softies who get offended at about everything.
Oh, fuck yeah. Especially the bored and housewives and housemen. If I now only say housewife, you're gonna have like all the bored housemen getting their panties in a bunch right away.
Yeah.
Okay, but we covered that with our title. We are not here to please you, and so I think that should cover it right from the start.
I mean, and that's one thing I love the name of the show, because it just puts it out there right there for you. Hey, man, we are not here to please you.
And you can totally thank Artu for that name. He came up with it. It's so brilliant. I didn't even give it a second fork to think about any other kind of name when we forked like at 3 o'clock at night in the bar on that name. It was like, yep, that's it, Lock. And it's also kind of catchy and memorable.
Back to the whole Hitler thing. Is it like a big faux pas to make fun of the Holocaust?
Actually, it's criminal to deny the Holocaust in Germany. You can get charged for it.
Just for saying it didn't happen?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you actually, it's illegal to lift your right arm for a greeting in a certain way as well. You can be charged for that as well.
You have to be shitting me.
No, I'm not kidding, because like as a little teenager, I was kind of on the left punk movement, and we went to some demonstrations, and then they actually announced it like, yeah, the cops just arrested a few skinheads that made the Hitler greeting.
Oh, jeez.
Also,
what I think's funny is the fascination with making laws that are pretty much there for young teenagers to basically defy. Because when you're a teenager, for the most part, you pretty much stand against what you're told.
Oh, fuck yeah. Do not press the button. Press.
And it's just like things, rules like that. They're not put there for anything other than, hey, let's start more shit. You know, it's not gonna increase anything. It's like the movie, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, called The Wave.
I can't say that I'm not on the waves, like way and with an S.
The Wave. Like an ocean wave.
That's a German wave.
In the US.
That the wave, like with in the ocean. Yeah, that is a German movie, and I love it. It has actually a bunch of one of my favorite actors in there, and not only the movie is great, the book is great as well.
Exactly.
Okay, for Arthur Short.
I love it.
Now only short forked. I give Arthur a 2-line about what the wave is.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
So that is basically a book about that in a school. They make an experiment because they say like something with like the Third Reich couldn't happen again. And then they perform a school experiment, and what really quickly tips the scale and shows how scarily easy actually this kind of mentality can again happen. It's a really gripping movie.
Okay, that kind of reminds me of the Stanford prison experiment.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but now continue. I cut you off, but I just wanted to catch him up.
What again?
I cut you off when you just were about to talk about the wave.
Oh yeah, it's like the way it was an excellent portrayal of showing how something could happen, but inserting a law is not going to really achieve anything other than generating money for a government and punishing and imprisoning people who don't need to be behind bars.
Absolutely. They go even further in Germany with that. So any kind of Nazi symbolism is illegal as well, and you can be charged with prison for that. Furthermore, it's kind of like normal political party that is kind of, that they're kind of right-winged, but they keep pumping money into investigations to really link them to Nazi parties to forbid the party. But why the fuck would you do that? In the end, you know what's going to happen? They're going to dissolve that party. They're going to surface up under a different name, only now more radical.
Well, see, that's what's happening here in the U.S. With the Tea Party, is what it's called.
The Tea
Which are these radical Republicans that claim they want their country back and their rights back and things like that. When they haven't took a deeper look at it, they haven't lost any rights. They haven't lost anything. Everything's the same as it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why a country themselves cannot take. Yes, the Holocaust was a serious thing, but at some time, you have to kind of like put it on the back burner and really. I don't want to say forget it happened, but not charge people for mentioning it or denying it, or making fun of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to say it's been enough time.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially when you're in Germany, they kind of keep pushing that permanently. I mean, I get it in school that you have it, yeah, but it's literally a whole school grade, nothing but Third Reich. And on TV, there's literally once a year, like, it's the 49th anniversary of blah, 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 and we're gonna run for a whole month, nothing but Hitler documentations on the Second World War, and they keep just pumping it out there each and every year. And I always think, like, I get it, I know, but Jesus, slow it down a bit, yeah?
Because, after a while, you figure some people would get sick of it and would just be like, you know what, I'm so sick of it, I'm going to start supporting it because I'm tired of hearing all this anti-stuff about it. And that's where I'm talking about, young teens and stuff. They're like, you got nothing to do. You're going to root against your parents. You're going to root against, the society norms.
What else is to do when you're a teenager?
Yeah.
Well, getting late.
I just realized that, it's such a hard topic here for some fucking reason. Because, I'll say something about the Holocaust, and then someone would be like, my grandmother was in the Holocaust. I'm like, okay. My grandmother died of cancer. Never say anything about cancer.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. And it's not just with the Holocaust or whatever, but I mean, people around here as well seem to be very horribly sensitive about anything. And you'd have to be a fucking psychic to know what's the thing that you shouldn't mention when they're around. And they get really, really offended and fly off the handle when you happen to mention something that really somehow gets them off their rocker.
Well, it's like Peter Weller once said. Peter Weller is an actor best known for RoboCop, but he's also a professor at the University of Syracuse. He said that the U.S. has went from being the land of the free to the land of the easily offended. Mm-hmm. Because we're such a heartbleed society here that we get involved in everybody's business. We get involved in every single cause. And truth be known, I mean, I mean, the United States itself, I mean, should pretty much stay the hell out of a lot of people's businesses.
Yeah, like I joke, like I found your nose, it was again up all in my business. No, but it kind of definitely feels like it. And you know what? In the end, like, that whole topic gets so tiring that everybody pops up. Like, many times when I just browse through the newspaper, and I just think like, oh, half of that thing you can just delete, basically, because it's not even newsworthy. Just, you know, cover something that actually matters, or, you know, something interesting.
Yeah, that's where, you know, I would like news to be. But here it's such an entertainment thing that, I mean, 70% of the stories that are on our news feeds are garbage. I don't care, you know, that there's a wasp that's making its way from Guatemala to the U.S.
Okay, if you would have said Europe, I would have freaked.
About the current state of affairs.
Yeah.
That's actually happening around here as well. I mean, I've noticed in the last, I don't know, 3-5 years, even the more respectable newspapers and whatever have become more and more like entertainment kind of news. And we have a yellow press already, so why do you need to go there?
Now, when you say yellow press, what does that mean?
They're basically this trashy magazines.
Yeah,
that
cheap tabloid kind of thing where you just, you know...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tits and ass and racist people. All that, like, simple... Yeah. That simple, you know, lowest common denominator kind of shit.
Oh, at the end of the grocery checkout.
Yeah, definitely. With our tickets like stars they are just like us. Look, Gwyneth Paltrow buying bread. She's just like us.
I know, and that's the craziest thing. And I was wanting to bend your guys' ears about that. Like, do you really care about what celebrities are doing in the United States at all?
Unless there's a nip slip involved, not really.
Yeah,
that's
even
how I feel.
Not even then.
Well, it depends on the nipple.
Yeah.
No, but overall, not really. I don't need to know every little shit they do. Give me a good interview when they have something to say, but I don't need to know when they are going shopping and exactly what brand of tampons they are buying. I don't need that information.
Exactly, man. And we need like more people like that here. We do have a new movement that's going on here in the U.S. where people are becoming more anti-news, and they're having to relegate themselves to watching BBC as well as Al Jazeera. You know, because like all the news companies here are either run, you know, by the big three networks or Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, of course, Rupert. Nothing runs without him.
Yeah. You know, and it's just, you know, every network has an agenda, you know, so you try to find the one with the least amount of agenda and go with it.
Well, but at least some people starting to do some shit in that point. But let's be honest, the sad truth is there's going to be the bigger part that are just going to be still feeding from that.
It's like when we have guests on our show, we're not a news show. We're just hey, let's sit around and talk.
Yeah, and I think that should be that best format. Because, like, why would you invite somebody and then try to get the news out of him? You invite somebody because they're interesting, you want to know what makes him tick.
Exactly. And we don't ask the questions that regular, like, radio, TV, and other shows answer. Like, the most generic question that usually comes out here is, how long have you been a comedian? How long have you been in the business? Things like that. We never ask that. Because if people want to know that, they can go online and look it up.
Yeah, just Google it, you lazy fuck. You know, that should have been your damn prep work before you have me on. Do I have to do everything around here?
Yeah, and that's not really.
I didn't know what you guys were going to get into with like having me on, so because y'all guys really don't know me personally.
No, we don't. But yeah,
that's why we were nervous as fuck, because we had no ideas what's gonna happen as well. But I wanted. But I wanted
a laid back pacifist.
Yeah, but I wanted really to know, actually, like, how did you get started with that B&B? I mean, like, not, as you now said, like, generic question that how it is, basically, but I just asked, like, as a fellow podcaster.
You're asking, like, how it became...
What it is, yeah.
Bigger?
Yeah, also, like, what brought you to going that step that you wanted to do that?
Yeah, how'd you get started in the first place, and what happened then?
Okay, well, what happened initially is I got together with my original co-host, Rusty Greer.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first co-host, and we were just going to cover like local music, underground music, and have a talk show.
Yeah.
And it started evolving when I realized we needed a third party present.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to have like 3 co-hosts.
Yeah, sounds messy, yeah.
So I wanted to change it up. So we started having local musicians on, local comedians on, and then we realized, hey, let's ask a bigger name to come on.
Mm-hmm.
And because we wasn't afraid to ask, because the worst case scenario is somebody says no.
Yeah, what do you have to lose?
Yeah, so we did that. I sent a couple emails out. I'm like, hey, you're coming to Nashville soon. We have a show that's just started up, and we would love for you to be the first big guest on it. And that was Jay Moore, actor, / comedian / podcaster as well. And he did the show. And after he did the show, like, our ratings were like crazy.
I can imagine.
So we realized we needed to build off that.
Yeah, use the momentum, so to speak.
Yeah. So what we did was we pretty much partnered up with Zanies. And by partnering up, we just asked them if we could record more from their comedy club.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah.
I mean, it's free publicity
for them. So what
has
happened is we've just reached out to different comics, different musicians, and they've been more than accepting because we've had some of the biggest comedians in the world on our show.
I know, I saw the names, and that made me really intimidated, so definitely, I mean, like, people like Richard Lewis, like, a really icon, I mean, in the business since I don't know when, that are just names you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys are the sweetest and nicest guys, and girls. I mean, we have female guests on as well, but we just when it started growing, I changed co-hosts because there were some other issues that were internal. To be honest, and that's the first time I've actually addressed that. I've never addressed it. I've never addressed it on the show before.
Well, you can feel comfortable with that.
No need to go into it further if you don't feel like it.
It was just he didn't meld well with some of the artists, and was a little close-minded to some of the comedians' opinions.
You're right.
Well, that doesn't work out when
for example, like if one of your listeners wants to know what's going on, if you listen to the Jay Moore episode, Jay Moore starts picking on him because of some of the things that he had said previously in that show.
Yeah, well, I guess
And
that
that
is not to carry anymore, of course.
Yeah, and that was that was the beginning of the end, was that episode, which was a great episode. But I found another guy who I actually went to high school with, that has a lot more entertaining values. He's very quick-witted, and that's Lee.
I yet know your current one.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it in the last couple of episodes. I have to be honest, I only stumbled like lately over it, but what I hear, definitely, he's quick, he's entertaining, and he can carry himself really amazingly.
He'll be glad to hear that. He's all about getting attention. I'm not gonna lie.
Aren't we all a little bit attention horse?
Not so much. You know.
Okay, yeah. So two morons with microphones from Finland send their regards.
Where I could be on Twitter all day, like a lot of people are. I only really use it to promote stuff, like episodes. Like today, I'm just hanging out with my son and my wife, and we're watching Simpsons episodes. And, but I mean, besides doing this interview, I'm not going to do shit the rest of the day.
That sounds for me like an amazing day. Simpsons and doing nothing? That's a great day in my book. Throw some steaks or some bratwurst in there and some beer. I'm a happy man.
So, I mean, do you guys have seen a definite increase in listenership, right?
Absolutely, it definitely went way up. So I don't say now the specific numbers, but it definitely increased to like around 4 times as many as we had.
Yeah.
So that was pretty sweet.
It's a growing process.
Absolutely, and I mean, it somehow actually started to happen all relatively quickly. Like once I actually put it some work into like bit promoting it more, or let's say in different ways, more things happened. And then like, well, the luck also cut it in when the host of the podcast group notified me basically about your post. You know, that was just this bit of luck what you sometimes also need.
Yeah. You know, I just believe in giving people chances, you know, that I've listened to their stuff and I'm like, okay, I can dig this, you know. And getting some guys' opinions that are on the other side of the globe is always cool, because it's not, as we say, old hat. You know, it's a more unique view.
Yeah, and I think like for us it seems so naturally to think about certain topics as it is for the Americans to think a certain way about topics, just because you kind of grow up in a certain society, so, and you're so used to a certain thing, where where you kind of, I think it's then refreshing just to hear this totally different point of view that's just like comes from perspectives where you in the first moment didn't thought of looking at it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, that's what I also thought what maybe might be for other people attractive to our podcast. Just like seeing that different point of view from these exotic animals from around the globe.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice. I would love to bring in a show from each continent in the world and have them on our network.
That's gonna be one hell of a big network there. You know that there's a shit ton of countries out there.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, but that would be actually fun.
We're not trying to make money off anybody. We're trying to just spread the word and spread the love.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like you wrote in that post where you announced this chance that you are not gonna owning our content, and so that it's really clearly just giving somebody a platform, and you guys have to have room to promote somebody. So
yeah.
And Todd?
You know, there's so many people in this world that they want to profit off other people's work, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, like speaking of the patent trolls. What?
Just like say somebody was to go, hey, we want you to be with us, but we want you to pay a membership fee. I'm like, why should I pay you a membership fee? You're getting my content.
Yeah. You got it. I think you got it backwards, buddy.
Yeah. Do you want a hand job as well? Yeah, but that's definitely not the way to go about it. And I think after a while, you're gonna get a feeling for like what people to stay away from, where you definitely see like, okay, somebody tries to take advantage, or somebody that actually does that because they do it because they like it.
Yeah, and that's our entire goal. Our thing is, we're just spreading the wealth. Now, we do have a couple links on there that generate me a little bit of income.
Why you have to somehow break even?
They're on the main page, and that's all.
Mm-hmm.
They're not circling through your guys' page and other people's pages or on our show, on our network website.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay, now we both stopped each other.
Go ahead, it's cool.
No, like we also basically we not making any advertising. Okay, first of all, because nobody wants to advertise on our show. But in the end, like our goal in the moment is not actually to make money of it. Our goal is to break even, like maybe get a small sponsor that we basically cover our sound hosting costs and something like that.
Exactly. That's what we did. That's what we did at first with Amazon.com.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just put up an affiliate page, and if somebody clicked through and bought something, we made a certain percentage off it. Well, that started to be able to pay for our hosting every month. Then we got two other people involved and started getting payments for them for running a banner on our site. And what that did, that paid for new equipment.
That's fantastic.
Because we plan on putting all the money that's generated back into the website, back into everything else. Because I designed the website.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pay for a website designer to do it, so I had to learn how to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
Take my time and try to make it as universally accessible as possible.
Yeah. And I mean, like, in the end, like, if we would generate money through our podcast, it would as well just go into the podcast itself back, like you said, like paying for the hosting costs, paying maybe for new gear, like to improve through that the quality. And the third way, how it's going to flow back into the show, it's going to be in form of beer while we are recording.
Yeah, because if you put your profits back into your product, you're going to have a better product, and that's just 101 right there.
Yeah,
absolutely. By the way, I wanted to let you know that I'm gonna go through your episodes list from Beards and Bullshit with all the names from you, and I'm gonna write basically most of them, and gonna try to request a Skype interview with them. Of course, dropping that we are now a part of the lineup of the Beards and Bullshit page, hoping that this helps. I hope you don't mind.
It might with some of them. I mean, I will tell you that a lot of the people we have on the show are very busy.
Yeah,
so, sure. If you get them, you get them.
That's why they are successful, because they are busy. They are doing stuff. That comes usually with the territory.
I just try to put 100% in. That way, I at least get 100% out.
Yeah, indeed. But like you said earlier, I mean, the worst case scenario is that they say no.
Exactly. It's when you have your own identity and you don't have to rely on other people. Like, if I was you guys, I would just be like, hey, we have a show based out of Finland, blah, blah, blah. We would love to have you on.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario, if they go, yeah, not going to benefit me. And you go, okay, well, it's a pleasure. But if you ever think about us in the future, keep us in mind.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get people that are going to say no.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely, I bet.
It's all in how you respond to how they say no.
Yeah, if you burn bridges right away, then
where you're at.
Yeah. If you tell them go fuck yourself, then I think that doesn't go along well for future endeavors.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that works well.
Yeah, I know. But I think it's just interesting, the whole learning curve, and just listening also a lot to more experienced people, and like you said before about some people say no, some people maybe come on the show. It's just interesting, the whole learning process of
Oh, most definitely, because this was in December. The show will be 3 years old.
Yeah, that's quite a time.
This is definitely a learning curve, because we took it upon ourselves without any lessons, without anything, and decided to try to do it. And what we've done is we've taken the constructive criticism from some people and applied some of it, and have been able to succeed with it.
And it's also fascinating when you kind of listen to the first things and how you actually evolve in your own product.
Yeah, when I tell people about the show, I'm like, hey, don't start at episode 1.
Oh, hell no. Not with our one either. Oh, my goodness. That was
I'm like, we didn't know what was going on. I was like, start at 20-something. Just throw the rest away.
Yeah. We're on episode 28 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of feeling like maybe we should just delete the previous ones completely and start from the beginning or something. Because
because it shows your growth as well.
Oh well, yeah, it does, but it's like he said. I mean, it's been such a learning experience all along the way that when you now know the kind of things that you would have needed to know half a year ago, it's kind of it's almost embarrassing to think about the stupid stuff that you did. But
I mean, if you think about it, I am now your U.S. correspondent for the We Are Not Here to Please You podcast.
Mm. And that's fucking amazing. I still can't believe it. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, got somebody from the other side of the world talking to us.
Yeah. We are still, by the way, amazed that even if one person would tune in, we are still amazed. Our point of view is why would anybody listen to us in the first place? We don't have any big name behind us, so we are literally two morons with a microphone. It's just amazing.
Because somewhere else there is somebody that wants to be one of those two morons with a microphone. Or it's because what you're saying might resonate some truth or some humor or some understanding that somebody else has anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, being uncanny, that is for us really important, just to be open and honest about everything. And I think that kind of maybe resonates good.
Definitely. That's a very rare quality here in the U.S. is being open, candid, and unoffensive. Because here we have this thing where people think it's cool to be open and offend you and then say, oh man, I was just being honest, so I called you a dickhead. And I'm just like, okay, well, great.
Yeah, maybe you should check what it says about honesty in the dictionary, possibly. Yeah. That's not probably the description of it.
No, but I also don't know.
Exactly.
And I also don't know how often I'm on that show actually told embarrassing things about myself.
Hey, I do it as well. I've told the story about a time that I was so drunk on a tour bus with a band that I manhandled a tranny.
Okay, stop right there. I want to hear that story because I haven't heard that one. I'm not through all of your episodes yet, so you want to give us a quick rundown about manhandling a tranny? You had my attention right there.
I was in Austin, Texas. I was on the road. This is back when I was doing lights, and I was out with a band called Bullet for My Valentine, and 18 Visions, and a band called Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you guys might know one or two of those names.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I had drank too much one evening, and which was common when I was a lot younger. And
yeah, that tends to happen when you're younger.
These women, quote unquote women, came onto the tour bus, and I just thought it'd be funny, instead of like reaching out to shake my hand, just grabbing somebody by the cooch and be like, my name's Jack.
That's how we say hello in Tennessee.
Sure.
So, and instead I grabbed a whole bunch of cock meat. And like I didn't like I was afraid to like let go real quick because I didn't want to offend the person.
And you're kind of part committed. Like if you, like you say, you pull now away, it's kind of super offensive. But how long do you keep holding the boards? You know, at what point is it offending to let go? At what point are you holding too long onto it? And what are you gonna say?
I put it with 3 seconds with eye contact.
I guess that's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Yeah, that seems about right. Seems fair amount of time.
So we now basically have a baseline in case we want to research this topic.
And then I decided to say, well, I guess it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Oh,
oh, that's fucking priceless.
So yeah, that happened. My wife still laughs when I tell that story.
I bet because she has the visual part to it, just can picture you perfectly in that moment doing that.
Oh yeah, because I called her after it happened. And I was like, hey babe, you'll never guess what happened.
I most likely would call Arthur like... Yeah, I would most likely call Arthur and would be like, hey dude, put that line in the show notes for the next episode.
You know, I mean, we've all done embarrassing stuff. I hope. If not, you haven't lived yet.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. But I love just how you started that storyline of kind of like manhandled a tranny. Oh, that captured my imagination right away. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there are some stories we tell on the show every now and then. You know, Lee or I will reveal something from our past every now and then with one of the comics or whatever. Because we don't try to be the funniest person on the microphone. That's the comic. There's a reason why they're the celebrity they are. It's because they are the funniest person in the room.
Mm-hmm. They are getting fucking money paid all the time because for one simple reason, because they are funny. So never try to outstage them.
And that's one thing about like when we have our guests on, we never try to like one up them.
Yeah.
You know, it's just we feel it's artificial. You know, it's just like, come on, there's no way to try to make yourself funnier than this person right here who makes a living at busting balls and being funny.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really not the right time and place for a dick contest on the show like that. So
yeah, and it would be totally ridiculous. I mean, would you come on our show because you're a funny guy, and then I can try to show you how I'm actually funnier? Ha ha ha! Like what? Are you mentally
I
ill?
just like your ha ha ha. Like, I'd love that as a sound bit for my phone. It would sound like my phone is just maniacal.
Well, nobody else talked, so we can isolate that.
Yeah, we'll send you that as a file later on, if you'd want to.
Yes, I want it.
All right.
Or then you can drop it randomly in the show, like if something is not funny.
I find a lot of things amusing, so I'm on another level when it comes to like laughing at things. Just in how somebody says something could be the funniest thing in the world to me, and somebody beside me is like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "Don't you get it, man?"
It was
Never mind.
hysterical. And the other one goes like, "No, it wasn't. You are broken. Stop talking."
So what other questions you guys got?
Bro. Again, like we are still getting so used to that whole thing. It's kind of like being the whole time so nervous.
Yeah, I have to admit, we didn't really plan on so much, interviewing, just giving you a call and seeing where it goes from there.
Also, we didn't know.
Well, see, sometimes, as you guys have realized, I mean, how long have we been talking?
I think around 55 minutes or so, yeah. Because we also didn't know.
So y'all can cut it, chop it up however y'all want. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you realize sometimes it's best not to have a game plan.
Yeah.
We kind of like
and just have a couple ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of like also, anyway, in general, kind of, try to play where the ball goes in that moment. And also, like, before that show, we, when I wrote to you over the chat, we also didn't quite know, like, okay, is he gonna be on, like, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so we didn't also quite knew what might be the time frame you're gonna be available for us, so...
Yeah. Oh, man, I totally understand that. I mean, if this ends up turning into 2 episodes, 3 episodes, whatever, I don't mind.
I think that's going to be one. We're going to mix it to solid one good episode. So and we usually actually not really cutting stuff. Again, it's one of our thing that we try to be honest and uncanny. The only thing that we maybe cut is like too long silence moments.
Yeah. But we like the kind of, like it's kind of like a delayed live broadcast, so that we really edit it very little.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get it.
And do you have any tips or advice for some newbies?
Yeah, now pro tips right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can give you 3 of the easiest tips for free.
Okay, shoot.
1 is aim for the stars, because you're bound to hit something.
That's a good one.
And that's with your topic, anything, guess, whatever. 2, equipment is so cheap, there's no reason to have to spend a lot of money. 9 times out of 10, all the equipment can pretty much be in your house already.
Yeah.
3 is set up a social media presence so people besides your friends listen to it.
I think
because if you just have your little circle of friends listening to it, they're always going to tell you it's the best thing in the world.
Oh yeah.
Of course, otherwise we're going to be mad with them and never talk to them again. And you're not my friend anymore. I don't want to play with you.
I mean, those are the things. We did buy better equipment because I was picky. But with everything, it pretty much is. Don't be afraid to hear no, because you're gonna hear no. Don't be afraid to record an episode and look back on it and be like, I wish. Oh man, this episode's so bad. Of course, it's gonna be bad. The first time you do something, it's not going to be a masterpiece.
Oh, yeah.
Picasso wasn't painting quote-unquote Picassos right off the bat. his stickmen probably looked like they were having seizures at first. You know.
Well, I think brilliant notes to go out on.
Yeah, and tell the people maybe where they can find your podcast and the social media site to get in contact with you guys and find your stuff.
Sure. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/beards and bullshit. On Twitter, it's beards bullshit because those fuckers wouldn't let us put "and" in the middle of that.
Yeah.
These bastards.
Beardsandbullshit.com. Also in iTunes, just type "beards and" in the menu, and then you'll see a bunch of letters that are censored out with iTunes because they couldn't do bullshit. On Stitcher Radio, search "Beards and Bullshit." We are also streaming on a couple different internet radio channels. But just Google it. Just type "beards and" usually we're the first thing that comes up.
Yeah. It was a absolutely pleasure and amazing to have you on. We had one hell of a time.
Yeah, thank you.
Man, just give me a ring anytime y'all need me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jack from Beards and Bullshit.
It was brilliant, and he popped our interview chair, and he was a gentle lover.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's all for today.
Yeah, I think how are we gonna top that one? I think that's a note we're gonna have to end that show out.
Oh yeah,
definitely on.
Catch you next time.
Well, on the next, we are not here to please you.
Yep. Bye bye.
I'm Nolan Overton.
I'm Brandon Stedham.
And we're the No BS Podcast,
where you can come listen to our comedic, informational, entertainment podcasts.
Every week on iTunes. Or
and
our website at...
We do have a website?
Yes.
www.nobspodcast.com.
Thanks, and I hope you'll join us. Ciao.
The Flashbulb Podcast. 3 to 10 minutes of fiction brought to you thrice weekly. From cosmic horrors to fisticuffs, fast cars, and smart mouths, we've got a chill for every spine. Find it all at flashpulp.com or search for it on iTunes.
This has been another attempt at not pleasing you.